Clap. Well, what is up, you glorious hunks of man flesh? It's been a while. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I tell you, people don't tend to nod at you on a GS. They have, I don't know, I think maybe they just think that I'm not going to nod back, but I'm a nice guy. I'm one of the nice guys, guys. Anyway, how are we doing? Wow, it's been a long time since I've been out recording anything of just sort of general dickery and tomfoolery. So I thought it's high time I said hello. As with everything, I think I did a video at the beginning of the year going, I'm going to do this year, I'm going to do all this stuff. And here we are, the end of the biking season, in the UK anyway, and I've achieved very little of it. So you guys don't feel too bad if you haven't achieved your plans either. It's tough, isn't it? It's tough getting everything right, but there we go. It's all positive, it's all good, and there's lots of stuff going on. It's all very exciting, and in fact that's actually one of the reasons I thought I would come on and have a quick chat to you guys, because I'm setting up a new little venture. So basically we're taking on a much bigger storage unit for 44 Teeth, just to house all of our ridiculous crap, and Chardonnay and Fatima are going to live in there. We got scooters, we got just crap, just the amount of stuff that gets accumulated from shoots and things, and it's going to give us a bit more space to actually film stuff inside, which is going to be great. I want to do way more like bike build stuff, because I absolutely love doing that, and gravelly, and designing things, and actually maybe even sort of kit reviews and stuff. There'll be loads of space to be able to do that, which is fan-bloody-tastic. Even hold merch there, so when someone goes, oh, can I have a hoodie, I'm like, yeah, I've actually got them here, it's in stock, bomb, get all that stuff sorted out. So that's going to be a great, thank you very much, sir, that's going to be a great addition. However, it's quite expensive. And then I thought, well, actually, and some of you guys may be interested in this, maybe you won't be, but I think with the winter season approaching, and lots of you guys aren't going to be riding your bikes anymore, so I was like, well, hang on, actually, why don't I just charge out some effectively parking spaces for you to store your bikes in there with all my bikes and all our stuff? And then that got me thinking even further. I was like, well, hang on, actually, the way the sort of economy is at the moment and how expensive it is to have your bikes, particularly in London, like getting them insured up there, it's a nightmare. And the more and more I think about it, I genuinely think it's a really good idea to have, like, to start a bike storage facility basically, and we can look after your bikes, put them on the trickle charger, and even with DR Bikes involvement, which is another little project I've got going on, be able to supply parts, like if you want calipers and stuff, and do cool stuff. Anyway, blah blah blah. So I set up a new little company. It's called Pitbox with a double X .com. It's not called pitbox.com, that's the website, which I built really badly, sorry. I guess we've probably got about, at the moment, I reckon we could fit about 30 to 50 bikes in there, the space that we're not using currently, to help pay the bills. So if you're in the Hampshire area, Surrey, Hampshire borders, I'm actually on the way there now to the new facility, and you want to tuck your bike away for the winter, then give me a shout. If you just email hello@pitbox.com, that's a double X, pitbox.com, hello@pitbox.com, and I'll get back to you. But generally, and it's not, by the way, this isn't for like, you can't just leave your bike there and come every day and go, oh, I want to go out for a ride. This is much more sort of the bikes that I've got, so like classic SP2s or track bikes and old 916s and stuff like that. So things that are lovely to have, but maybe they're just taking up too much space. Maybe your missus is going, could you just get rid of these bloody motorbikes? They're everywhere, but you don't really want to sell them. Then give me a shout. And I honestly, prices, to be honest, I don't really know just yet. It seems everywhere I've tried to look to get research on it is really expensive, or just difficult and in some weird barn on a farmyard somewhere. And it's actually quite hard to find storage places. So the cheapest entry level point would be about 60 quid a month. I think it feels about right, but that would be for like a 12-month type term. excluding VAT, of course. And then if you just wanted it for like a month or two, maybe it'd be like 80 quid a month, something like that. So that's sort of, I guess, where I'm looking at, because as soon as we get those first 30 bikes, then effectively we're sort of covered, our costs are covered. But it's actually quite exciting. And I was thinking, God, it just feels like with motorcycling becoming more and more expensive, and unfortunately I do think it's becoming like a rich man's game. It's a rich leisure activity. Gone are the days where you buy a motorcycle for cheap transportation and cheap fuel costs. It's just gone. I mean, with insurance prices going astronomical and new bike prices, I mean, a new one of these is what? It's going to be 25 grand. It's crazy. Bikers, hello my friends. You have big gold wing, but no, like me, I don't want to give up my bike. I don't ride it as much as I should, or ride any of them. Actually, ride the sort of classic investment bikes that I've got. I don't ride those as much as I should, but I want to know that they're in a nice, warm, safe place. And I was even thinking about, I did mention this on the podcast with Joe Achilles. He was trying to buy a GS, and he's 40 years old, something like that, 42 or something. Fair enough, he only had his license for about 16 months, but still, he lives in a nice area, garage, all that stuff. And the insurance they wanted was like 4 grand, 5 grand. So then when you add that 5 grand to the price of the deposit, let's say that's another 5 grand that's just going to evaporate, plus the monthly payment, plus the maintenance and stuff, it worked out like he was only going to ride it about 12 times a year. It worked out about 800 quid a ride, which is just insane. So I know, and I'm not saying that's good, and by the way, this is why I'm going to solve everyone's problems by setting up this business. It's a bad state of affairs for the motorcycle industry, and I think we all need to figure out a way of combating that. But we're in this situation now, and it feels like it's going to be the same for the next couple of years. So then I thought, okay, well, people still want to have access to bikes, but to feel like they're their own. And I was like, well, why don't I set up like almost like a timeshare for bikes? So I could go out and buy like an S1000 or whatever, or a couple of S1000s on fleet, get a good deal from BMW, and then find 5 people to buy that bike between them at a monthly cost, which would be considerably less than what we just discussed with Joe Achilles, which was 800 quid a ride. It's still ultimately your bike. You just book it in, you just go through like a booking system and go, I want it this weekend, I want it that weekend. And it was just all sounding like such a good idea, and I still think it is an incredibly good idea, because it's not like just hiring bikes out that some yobbo is going to get on it and just bounce it off the rev limiter, because it's your bike, it's like your thing, and you want to look after it. And no one would kind of know it's not your bike either, because it's the same bike you have all the time when you ride up to your caffeine and machine or whatever. And it was feeling like a really fantastic idea until I tried to get a insurance company to cover that type of activity, and they were basically just like, no, get out, bing, like just hung up instantly. But then I guess it's a new trading company, so I guess we'll have to wait a little while for to get some trading history. I don't know, but it'd be lovely to get to that point, and I think it'd be a really good idea, a really very good idea. But anyway, that's down the line. But for now, I just think storage, and I love looking at bikes. I just love looking at them. Maybe even get a valeter in there, get in there, clean them up, order some parts and stick them on, and maybe make some videos if they get something cool in. So yeah, I think it's classic-ish bikes, like investment type classic bikes that don't get ridden a lot. And also the other big target demographic would be race bikes, because those don't tend to be insured anyway under a road policy, and we could just come and pick it up. If you wanted to go to Silverstone, we get someone to drop it off there. Of course you'd have to pay for someone to drop it off, but it really does feel like the start of actually quite an exciting business. And it also doesn't rely on me having to go out and be a happy-go-lucky person on the internet to actually make it. It's actually a proper business. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's a bloody great idea, and I'm just going to go over there now and put a sign up on the wall because we've got the unit, so now the costs are escalating rather rapidly. Let's pull out in front of this bus, shall we? Let's do it. So if you, that's it's a horrible smell. So if you're interested, drop me a line, hello@pitbox.com, and I shall endeavour to help you. I think, yeah, the first like 30 bikes will be a good cheap rate. The rest of that, if you're still interested beyond that, will be more of a reasonable rate. Because I mean, honestly, I was talking to someone else the other day and they were quoted 200 quid a month to store a bike, and they still had to drain all the fuel out of it. They even asked to drain the oil out of it, which was weird. So maybe it's too cheap, I don't know. What do you think? It'd be good to get your thoughts, actually. Yeah, it's just a really nice little assistance of the group of companies which I'm trying to build, and I think I just think it's a great idea. So I'm going to do it, because you only live once and you've got to try these things out. Who knows, there could be Pitbox Edinburgh, Pitbox Birmingham, Pitbox Manchester. Just franchise the shit out of it. In other news, I'm actually also looking for a local-ish, like intern type guy or girl. So someone who wants to get into motorcycling, who loves bikes, but can also knows how to sort of edit a little bit. Doesn't have to know an awful lot about cameras, that's pretty easy, but someone basically to follow us around and just shoot the shit out of everything that we do, and put stuff on socials, and just generally be a helping hand. So if there are any, I mean, I'm not going to be ageist here, but I think it would suit youngsters particularly, just because if you're living at home with your parents and you're 18 to 20, whatever, yeah, I don't think I'm going to get a 50-year-old guy with 3 kids and a mortgage to pay, because frankly on an intern level salary it's just not going to work. So if you're interested, you could in fact just email the hello@pitbox email address, and we'll go from there. Am I going the right way? I don't even know where I'm going now. So yeah, intern stuff, that'd be great. Just if you're passionate about bikes and you understand technology, that's kind of, and you're eager, you've got to be eager, and you want to put the hours in and put the work in, then I think you'll be great. But I'd like you to be local, because I don't want to be dealing with like, got to get the train here, there, whatever, and all of that stuff. Other news, I'm at the NEC bike show. If you want to come and see me there, I'm actually doing a talk, like proper people, on the Black Horse stage. I'm going to be interviewed by Jamie Whittam, and that'll be fun. That's on the last Sunday of the show. From memory, I think it's the 23rd or 24th of November. And I'm supposed to be going to Italy next week to do a back-to-back test on the Panigale old versus new, which will be really cool. In fact, Fagan might be going to that actually. And then I'm going on the new 1300 GS Adventure launch, which is very exciting, because you know me and I love a GS. So that's really fantastic. Well done, Chris. And typically, in typical form, they've done this thing. BMW did it with the 1300 GS, not the Adventure. They allowed people to take it out on test rides from dealerships before the international press launch, which was a bit weird. So you ended up getting a load of like real review of the GS 1300 from Barry from Scunthorpe or some German chap, but they're doing the same thing. So I might actually go over to Vines quickly on Monday and take the new one out and just do a quick thoughts before the Wine and Dine corruption experience of the BMW launch event. But yeah, so it's an exciting few days. It's an exciting few months on the horizon actually, and yeah, I just YOLO, just get on with it, Chris. Just get on with it, smash it, be the best you can, and try it. So on that, I'm going to disappear off. I don't actually know where I'm going now. I think I've got completely lost. Well, I have got completely lost, even though I've got a sat nav and 2 phones on me. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will I'll go over to the new unit and give you a little teaser But it's great. It's so nice to think about the amount of space that we've got to actually be able to use and create sets and shoot content in, and everything is just looking really bloody good. So I'll catch you very, very shortly. All right, guys, bye. Well, here we are then. There's my little SP2 under the newly fitted sign, which I literally just put up with my bare hands, because that's how manly I am. And yeah, ready to go, pretty much. So if you're interested, yeah, just as I said, send me an email, hello@pitbox.com, and I'll get back to you. And also, even if you want to sell your bike, we can probably facilitate that as well, as like a broker. Again, I haven't quite worked out the prices and stuff, but it's sort of, let's just jump in and see what happens. And I think with your guys' help, you can let me know what you want, really. And yeah, we'll go from there. I won't show you too much of what's in here, but my other little Eddie is over there, just tucked away in the corner there. Check it out. There is a basic website at the moment, but I built it, and I'm not very good at building websites. But yeah, generally, we're ready to rock and roll, so let's do it. All right, cheers, guys. Beep.